All right, let's get started. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Mobile App Academy. This is our live building series where we show you how to build and configure mobile apps on the Now platform. My name is David Ha, and I'm an outbound product manager here at ServiceNow, and I'll be your host for today's session. I also have Ian Kinnear here today as our presenter, and we want to give a warm welcome to everyone joining us live today. And if you are joining us for the first time, welcome to the session. Our product experts are here to provide guidance, best practices, and answer any questions that come up along the way. We do host these mobile app academies every 2 weeks at 10 a.m. Pacific, and our recordings are posted to YouTube on the ServiceNow community channel. Just pointing out a few resources that we do have available. If you're new to mobile, we recommend that you check out some of our self-enablement resources, such as our mobile guidebooks and white papers on our mobile community site. But we do also have a plethora of other resources, such as labs, trainings on Now Learning, and the playlist to all of our previous academies as well. Academies such as Mobile Agent Quick Start Guide, Getting Started with Now Mobile, and over 30 other academies. And if you like sessions like this, our ServiceNow teams do host other academies for HR service delivery, platform foundations, platform analytics, virtual agent, and many others. But you can find those series in their respective community forums by navigating to that forum tab. Okay. And just to quickly review for today's session, this will be a very quick 30-minute session. We're going to start off with a quick 5-minute overview, and then we will jump into the exercise in which we'll show you how to quickly enable mobile surveys. And then we'll open up to some Q&A afterwards and then wrap up. Okay. But with that said, I'm now going to pass it over to Ian to take us through mobile surveys.
Hey, everyone. Okay, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen okay, David?
Yep, but I can see your entire screen with notes. It's maybe a different share.
Okay. Sorry about that. How about now?
That's a lot better. Perfect.
Okay. Okay, great. All right. Thank you very much. So today for mobile surveys, I'm going to walk through 2 use cases with everybody. So what we want to look at first is very straightforward use case. So as an admin, we'd like to trigger or send ad hoc surveys to Now Mobile users. And we want users to be notified by push notification. And we'd also like that survey task to show up in the user's task list so that they know that they need to do something there and they can easily find it. And this is going to allow us to have those existing surveys that you've built be visible to users on mobile so that you can gather that feedback about your workflows, such as your service desk or request management feedback collection. After that, we're going to take a look at another scenario. So this is where we're going to want to start to collect feedback about the mobile experience specifically. So what we can do is create a survey for that, or leverage an existing one as a start, and then provide a mechanism through the mobile client so that users can quickly access and submit that feedback. And what this is going to allow us to do is just, collect the user's mobile experience, feedback, and essentially allow us to improve that mobile experience for users over time. Okay, so with that said, we'll jump into the instance and take a look. So let me switch over to my browser and our mobile app over here so you can see what the experience is like as we go. So just a housekeeping item to start. So what I want everybody to do before they start working on surveys for mobile is just check, so navigate to your plugins. And once you've done that, you can see I've just entered _survey here, just because that's just a quick way that I can pull up two plugins that I want to make sure that you all have. And also I want you to make sure that they're up to date. I've just seen occasionally where there's just based on the history of the instance and how it's been updated, over time, that you may need to just go in and repair this plugin. So that's what I would advise you to do. And that's just going to reinstall the application files for you. If you'd like, so you're just clicking on this menu on the top right-hand side. The two plugins rather we're looking for are called Service Portal Surveys, and the other one is called Surveys for Mobile. So those are the two. And once you've done that, you should be good to go. So what we're going to do here, again, we're going to generate a survey, an existing survey for one of our existing processes. We're just going to look to make sure that our mobile app renders those and notifies us of that. The good news is that with these plugins, we shouldn't need anything more to do in terms of configuration. We really just need to trigger those surveys. But I'll show you where where the survey list screen is going to show up, and I'll briefly show you that push notification so you can see how that's done. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to navigate over to survey in our navigation menu here. So we can see under survey that we have a number of different navigation modules here. What we're going to look for is view surveys. And we're just going to look for an existing survey. Doesn't really matter, just so that we can validate the functionality here. So for this session, I'm just going to try the help desk satisfaction survey down here. So again, this is your existing survey or assessment functionality within the instance. There's nothing special or new in terms of mobile to create those surveys. So basically, your survey that you can ask users to do in your service portal would be the exact same survey record that we're going to use here for mobile. So I've opened up our help desk satisfaction survey, so we can see how that's built. If you have a trigger condition, that would be down here. Trigger conditions being, if I close a particular incident or a request gets fulfilled, we can automatically trigger those and send those out to the user. We're not going to do that today, just in the interest of time. We're just going to assign this survey directly so we can see the functionality. So I'm just going to select myself here. I'm the logged in user over here and click OK. And this is just going to trigger a survey for me. While we're waiting for that push notification to come through, what we can do is just show you, I'll first show you the push notification itself. So that's going to be over here. So, by the way, to get to your push notifications, if you just type push and then look under system notification and push, you can find the push notifications and push messages over here. So here's the particular notification, and you're going to notice it's actually going to use universal links, and that's what's going to enable it to direct the user straight from the specific push notification to the survey instance itself, so the user can complete it. It's just taken a while to come through here, the push, but that's not totally abnormal. Sometimes it takes a couple minutes. So if we look at what it'll contain here, we can see the push notification. the push message rather. It's called survey assigned. So if I want to open that up, I can click to edit the record, and I can click the information icon and open that up. So this is what my message is going to look like. And if I want to see the push message content, I'll edit this record as well. This is just in case you need to see, you need to edit the text, or you need to see actually how this message is constructed. You can see it's using our deep link generator to get a universal link, and it's going to send the user over to the take assessment page, passing in the SysID of the survey. So I'm just going to take a look at my mobile here, and actually did come in, but because my device had gone to sleep, that's why we didn't see it right away. So you can see I've got 3 notifications over here, and I've also got 3 tasks here. So, just taking a look at how that works from the user perspective, they're just going to, for example, tap on the notification, and they're going to be directed to a browser view of the survey, and they're going to be able to complete it. So pretty straightforward functionality here. Just answer, am I satisfied? Yes, I am. Next. And tell us what we think. Thanks so much. So again, very quick, very easy. Nothing specifically that we need to do to make this happen. We're going to receive the notification, and we're also going to have this task show up. Once we've completed the task, you can see it disappears from our list. And just for your information, where you're going to find that specific screen that's being displayed here, we can take a look at it over in Mobile App Builder, and we can just make sure that we're in the surveys for mobile scope. You might notice too, it should be the one with no description there. And here's our My Surveys list screen. So this is what comes as part of the plugin, and it's included in the existing out-of-box Now Mobile task list segment. So if we were to look, for example, at our mobile app config, and then open up the mobile app config for Now Mobile, I'll show you where to find that. So now that I have this open, you can see my navigation bar, and I'll close this, make a little extra screen view for us. So we can just compress down our different launcher tab here, is just looking for the home launcher screen, which is over here in my mobile app, and my tasks here is where I wanted it to display. This is a San Diego instance, by the way. You can see I'm using an icon section with images as the background. And let me move that a bit out of the way. So if we, again, just looking at our navigation bar, if we find the home navigation bar, and then in there, we should find the different UI sections and configuration tied to it. I'm going to be looking for our, not the catalog or people, knowledge, this icon section right here. That's this area here. And within there, you can see we have our get support, our new reservation, and so on. I'm looking for my tasks here specifically. If we look at my tasks, we can see that it has a list screen in there. I'll open the record to edit it so we can look a little closer at the setup. And I'm just showing you this. This should happen out of the box. I'm showing you this just in case you want to add this My Survey segment to another screen. You'll see that it's simply added as one of several segments that are going to show up in my tasks. So that way you can show different types of tasks here. You can show, surveys or content, other ad hoc tasks that the user has assigned. So if we scroll down here and edit in the existing scope, you can see under my to-dos, there's a screen segment. And if we open that up and edit in the original scope, you should be able to see your My Surveys list in here. So that's where it's been added. If you need to add it somewhere else, this is the likely configuration that you do by adding it as an existing stream, so that when I tap as a user, when I tap on my tasks, I can see any tasks that I have assigned, including surveys and other stuff. Okay, so that's the process of triggering a survey and viewing it, actioning the survey as a user, and just how that configuration is done. Now that we have that, we'll go ahead and look at how to build a new survey in order to collect feedback from users about the mobile app specifically. So to look at that, let's go back to our platform view here. By the way, David, before I go into this, do we have any questions so far about the user experience for surveys?
Not seeing any questions in the chat. However, there are a couple things that I see on mobile community every now and then. And it's around what happens if their image isn't rendering properly, like it's cut halfway, or like, the smiley face isn't showing. I think you've answered it. It's probably through the plugin, right? If you install the mobile survey plugin, that will enable the universal linkage, which will optimize all the web pages, all these mobile surveys on the mobile app. Is that what's happening? I'm guessing if you don't have that plugin, it'll just try to open up a web page without any correction at all.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you a very important part in a second when we create the new survey, just to make sure that we're using the mobile employee service portal view for the survey. So that's going to be critical to make sure the survey renders properly. The other thing I would say is that in terms of the survey plugins, those two plugins that I mentioned, again, you can repair them just to make sure. Like I've seen occasionally, I looked at an instance and the push notification didn't happen to be there. So I'm not really sure if somebody removed it or if something happened when the instance was upgraded, but repairing that plugin restored that. So that's just another thing that you can try. So let's go ahead and look at our surveys again. And we'll go into view surveys. So you could use the survey designer to create a brand new survey from scratch. Just in the interest of time and focus on the mobile configuration specifically, I've already created a mobile customer satisfaction survey. So we'll take a look at it. Basically, all I did is I started with the out-of-the-box satisfaction survey with the smiley faces, and copy that. So, that way we can add our own specific name that's going to show up related to mobile customer satisfaction. And we'll also be able to collect our responses separately so that we can, try to learn from what users are submitting. So this particular survey, it doesn't have a trigger condition. And that's on purpose because we're going to want users to go to it whenever they want and submit feedback. If they want to do that multiple times, that's totally fine. So the way that we're going to do that is just by navigating to the proper URL to take the survey. And in the background, ServiceNow is going to generate a new assessment instance for you in the background so that you can send those responses multiple times. This particular survey definition, if we go to our metric categories, just has this mobile feedback category. And if we open that up, we have two questions. One, to tap the image to indicate the current impression of a mobile app. It's the question we're asking. And the second one is, sorry, by the way, that first one will collect sort of numerical data, allow us to build a chart. And the second question is going to be a text-based one so that we can just allow the user to submit ad hoc text and store that in the system. So if we take a look, so in order to make this survey visible in the instance, what you're going to want to do is take a look at this view survey URL related link. So if we click it, you'll notice it's going to give us this survey URL link, telling us to publish the survey with the following URL. For our purposes for mobile, we're going to actually, instead of using the SP portal, we're going to use MESP. And the reason why we're going to do that is because MESP has special style sheets set up that's going to optimize form elements for the mobile device. So things like, selecting drop downs and how that experience works for mobile can be, optimized for the mobile device. So that's what I was talking about earlier, is that often we see when users are having trouble, they're trying to look at the wrong theme, the wrong view, and it's not rendering that survey very well. So what we'll do is we'll take this text out. So my system should be slowing down a bit here. Let's just, oops, let me open that up again. I believe we got the whole thing. And I'm just copying that to the clipboard. When we create it in the instance, we'll add the ME to the front of that. So I'll click cancel here. And now that we've done that, we can head over to Mobile App Builder. And we can head to our home screen here and click on functions. And we're going to make a new function. So we can go ahead and call that mobile feedback. Should give it a description, so it's easier and better to maintain. Won't display in the instance, it's just a description for, or in the client, it's just a description for your function. The type we're going to select is a URL, and the context is going to be global. That's just because we want users to be able to submit this survey feedback from anywhere, like a quick action or an icon section, which I'll show you in a minute. And so we don't want to be in the context of a specific record. And again, for our URL, we're going to put /me and then that string that we copied. So that looks good. We'll give it a link labeled mobile feedback. And then this should be good for our function. Let's copy this so you can find it after. So this is a straightforward browser screen we've just created here with a specific link to a specific survey. But once we've done that, we need to figure out how we're going to display it to the users. So I'll show you two ways to do that. The first is using this quick action at the top of our homepage here. This will display at the top in iOS and as sort of a floating icon in Android, and will allow the user to just in a single tap get straight into the survey. So let's go back over here and we'll go to our mobile app config and open up our Now Mobile app config. So we can do this in Mobile App Builder. I'll show you another way as well. We can also go to our launcher screens and platform and open those and search for our homepage. Our homepage launcher screen here. And you can see that we'll just double check, right, that we have the right one just by making sure we have this sections that we're expecting to see. This looks good. I'm gonna draw your attention to the quick action buttons here. So you can see we've already got one for opening up virtual agent up here at the top. This is in the Now Mobile application. So we'll just switch over to Now Mobile. And go back. And by the way, in Mobile App Builder, you would be doing essentially the same thing, but you can just navigate to it more easily. We'd have to find our homepage launcher tab again. So that would be down here. And our homepage launcher screen. Close this, scroll down and look for your quick actions towards the bottom. So we'll go ahead at the bottom here and insert a new row. Or, we could actually open up one of the existing ones and just do an insert and stay here. So we can see if we have a survey one created. We don't, so we can click new. So here we create that function instance. You'll see it's a lot easier to do in Mobile App Builder. Can you still hear me okay? Just getting some system slowdown here.
Yep, you're still good.
Okay, perfect. So let's open it over here. We're gonna have to go to our Now Mobile scope to create a new one. So we'll just change scopes. Should be able to actually find our launcher screen homepage down here. Make a new quick action function instance, and we can call it mobile feedback again. We'll give it an order just to put it a little bit lower down. We'll choose an icon here. So we'll give it, for example, this comments icon. And then we need to select the specific function that we created earlier. which we also name mobile feedback. And after clicking apply, we just need to make sure we click save. And at this point, we should be able to just swipe down on the ALP. You'll notice that this quick action icon at the top changed to this menu breadcrumb option to indicate that there's multiple icons here for me to select. So the existing one was chat with a virtual agent, and I've got my mobile feedback. If I tap it, I'm going to be brought directly to the survey, and I can go ahead and submit my responses. So that would be how we do that using a quick action. But I also want to show you just a kind of a more impactful way. You can see this particular launcher screen has an icon UI section with sort of more frequently accessed screens and functions shown here as icons with images. So it's just a quick, like a good way to highlight to the user what are the typical things that they do in Now Mobile App at your organization. So we're going to fill this empty space here with a new one for our feedback, our survey. So in order to do that, if we go over to within our homepage, we're going to again find that particular section that we wanted, that icon section, which I think I just went by it. That's right over here. So if we click on it, we'll edit in the original scope. We might need to switch our scope here to do this, but let's go ahead and do that. So we'll switch to this particular scope. And we'll open this back up. And actually, since I showed you the mobile app builder way earlier, I might just show you the in-platform view of this. So if we were to go back to our, just in case you want to see it in platform, the launcher screen view is here, and we can go to that icon section menu. And you can see we've got these icon section destinations here. What I'll do is I'll open up an existing one, and I'll just do an insert and stay. And we'll give it an order of 60. And we'll just erase this new reservation one and open up here. And we'll just, under our icon section destinations, we'll make a new one. And from this drop down, we're going to select a function. We can do a launcher, a screen, a launcher page, a screen, or a function. So we'll call it a function. We'll give it a name of mobile feedback again. The specific function that we wanted was called mobile feedback. Is it not here? We don't need to give it an icon, but since we're using images here, we'll select an image. So I've already added one here. We'll use this charts image. and we'll submit. And then we'll right-click Save on this record. And then if all is good, when we refresh, we can see we've got our new icon over here for mobile feedback, and I can tap it to open that survey and allow the user to submit their responses. Now, that's pretty much it for the configuration. I just want to show you very quickly how you would look, again, how you'd look at the responses. So to do that, we'd go back to our surveys view. And look at our view surveys. Open up that specific mobile customer satisfaction survey. We can see a quick view of our responses, but what you can also do is go down under related links and click on this view scorecard link. And this is going to give you just essentially a dashboard view of the survey with the responses. So that being said, let me just jump back into the presentation real quick, and we'll just recap with a few important points for you to remember as you implement your surveys. So let's open this up again. So just a quick review for you. First, obviously make sure your plugins are up to date. Talked about that. Secondly, don't forget to change that link to the MESP service portal link. It'll look like this as an example. So make sure you do that. Also, just keeping in mind the mobile experience, definitely recommend to keep your surveys quick and simple to complete on a mobile device so that users can quickly and easily do that without getting frustrated. And then probably, and maybe most importantly, don't jump into creating and displaying a survey until you have the mechanism set up to review those submissions, understanding those submissions, and actually take actions. Where a user requests follow-up, you have a team ready to give that follow-up. Let them know that their feedback's appreciated, or get that story created to make the change that was recommended. So with that, I'll take a pause and ask David if there's any new questions for us to talk about.
Not seeing any questions in the chat relevant to this session. So I think we could probably wrap up for today. Really great walkthrough. Thank you for that, Ian. And I want to thank everyone for joining us today. If you did find this session helpful, please let us know in our own post-session survey on Zoom. There's going to be a couple questions asking, what topics you want us to explore in the future. Mobile surveys was actually a topic that came up a few times, and that's why we're covering it this week. Again, we love getting feedback from all of you just to make sure that these topics are actually helpful and relevant. So let us know. And if you're interested in any of our past mobile app academies, we do record these and upload them on YouTube. And you can find them on our mobile community site, or go to the Now community YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe to our mobile community forum, register to our mobile app academy series, education on the latest updates and future topics. But with that being said, thank you all for joining, and we hope to see you again in 2 weeks at our next mobile app academy. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.